Hi dear parents, welcome back to another math hour. Today I'm just going to show you how to divide a radical. Just like multiplying, you do not need to worry about terms or like terms. You simply have to use a formula and divide accordingly. Take a look at the formula for dividing a radical, the basic formula. The square root of some number a divided by the square root of another number b is the same thing as saying the square root of a divided by b. Let me give you a real world example. Let's say the square root of 16 divided by the square root of, how about 4? Okay? The square root of 16 divided by the square root of 4. I can write it with using this formula. I'll just write the square root of 16 divided by 4. You see that? It's the same thing. I'm just using my formula. And 16 divided by 4 is 4. And the square root of 4 is 2. And there we go. Final answer is 2. You see that? Using the formula. Now again, take a look at the situation. These are perfect square roots. If I can solve them, go ahead and solve them out. The square root of 16, as you guys know, is 4. And the square root of radical 4 is 2. And 4 divided by 2 is 2. Same exact answer. You see that? That's how you use a formula. Very basic, very simple, easy, and way to divide a radical. Now, let me show you another situation. Let's say we have coefficients, okay? Let's say we have something like this. 6 radical 2 divided by 2 radical 2, okay? Now, don't get scared by this. All you have to do when you encounter a situation like this, all you've got to do is like a cookie, snap it in half. Snap this problem into two separate parts. On the left side, you'll have your coefficients, 6 divided by 2. You see that? On the right side, you'll have your radicals. In this case, you have radical 2 divided by radical 2. And don't forget, what we're doing is multiplying these things together. That's how you join them up, okay? Now, tackle it one part at a time. Let's start with the left side. And this is the right side, by the way. Let's start with the left side always. Coefficients. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Multiplied by square root of 2 divided by square root of 2. Just like any division, any number divided by the same number will always equal 1. So radical 2 divided by radical 2 is just 1. And final answer, 3 multiplied by 1 is 3. And that is the answer for this problem. You see that? The technique, simply snap the problem like a cookie into two parts, coefficients on the left, radicals on the right, and solve them individually, and then join them up together again. Let me show you another example. Oops, sorry about that. There we go. Let's try another example. Let's do, how about 15 radical 11 divided by how about 3 radical 7. Okay? Again, we have coefficients over here, and we got radicals on the other side. Let's split them apart. The 15 divided by 3 will go on one side, and of course the radical 11 over radical 7 will go on the other side. Okay? Let's solve them. 15 divided by 3 is 5. And radical 11 divided by radical 7, I can't do anything with either of them, so I'll just leave them alone. So it'll just be radical 11 over radical 7. You see that? So my final answer will be 5 radical 11 over radical 7. However, kids, there is a problem with this. In math, we do not like it when we have a square root as your denominator. It just doesn't look right. It doesn't feel right. We've got to do something to get rid of that square root. And this is how you get rid of the square root. I'll show you right now. Let me move everything over a little bit closer this way. Okay, you know the formula, so I'll hide it from you. So, how do I get rid of the square root? Well, all you have to do is multiply the denominator and the numerator by the exact same square root. You see, I see that? Because once I do this, then I know the square root of 7 multiplied by square root of 7. Same numbers. Take off the square root, leave the number alone, and it becomes just 7. And then on the top, the numerator, I just multiply it all out. 5 times 1 just remains 5. And 11 multiplied by 7, if you remember the formula, final answer, 5 square root of 77 divided by 7. And there we go, final answer. And you see, this is how you divide a radical. Again, always remember, use the formula, and if you have a radical as your denominator, then get rid of that radical sign by multiplying it by the exact same square root. Let me show you another quick example. Okay, let's try this one. Let me remove all this stuff here. There we go. There we go. How about, let's see, let's do 8 square root of, let's do minus 8 square root of 7 divided by, how about 2 square root of 5, for example, okay? How do you divide this radical? Again, you have to break them apart like a cookie, left and right. On the left side will be the coefficients, on the right side the radical. So minus 8 over 2 will go on the left side, and we're multiplying it by the radical 7 divided by radical 5. You see that? Minus 8 divided by 2 is minus 4, multiplied by radical 7 over radical 5. I can't do anything with this, so now I'll just join them up all together. I have minus 4 square root of 7 over square root of 5. Again, kids, guess what? I cannot have a square root of 5 as my denominator. It's not allowed in math. I got to get rid of that square root. How do I get rid of it? I simply multiply the denominator and numerator by the exact square root with the exact square number, square root of 5. And now using my multiplication rules, I know square root of 5 multiplied by square root of 5 is just 5. And on the top, minus 4 stays the same, and we have the square root of 7 multiplied by 5, which is 35. And there we go, kids. Final answer, minus 4 radical 35 over 5. And this is how you divide a radical. Thank you.